Yo. Welcome to episode 5 of UnderRayted Conversations. I'm your host, Ray. Shout out to all the supporters, people that have been watching me from episode 1, people that are tuning in for the first time, anybody that this might help, anybody that this might encourage. I appreciate all the phone calls, text messages, DMs, all that. I appreciate every bit of it. The last episode, I kind of caught a groove. I feel like I felt like it just flowed, you know? So hopefully this episode goes the same way. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. So let's get to it.
Turn the mic up, it's time to dive. Where the stories spark and come alive. Unfiltered thoughts, we keep it real.
UnderRayted Conversations, episode 5. I'm your host, Ray. Let's get to it.
UnderRayted Conversations.
Thank you for all the support.
Deep talks, no hesitation.
Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for the people that need to hear this. I do it for y'all. Like I always say, no monetary gain. I don't care about any of that. I do this for anybody that needs to hear this. Shout out to my family. Probably some of my biggest supporters. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So without further ado, welcome to episode 5 of UnderRayted Conversations. I'm your host, Ray. Like I always say, and I've been saying from the beginning, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, share, follow, all that. I appreciate it. So let's get right to it, man. Over the past weekend, I took a trip to Atlanta to InvestFest. Shout out EYL community, Red Panda, all that. I appreciate it. A lot of knowledge. A lot of knowledge. I go every year, or at least attempt to go every year, and every year I learn something different. Didn't really resonate too much with a lot of the things they were teaching, because a lot of it I already knew, but there was some stuff that I needed to hear. There was some motivation out of there. There were some things that were said that motivated me. So it wasn't necessarily about the lesson, it was about the motivation. I heard a lot of people while we were there from the outside community, especially people that are actively living in Atlanta, who were saying that, oh, it's a scam and all that, and they just invite everybody there to tell you things that you already know. No, that is the way that people look at it. See, when I went for networking purposes. I wanted to get this podcast out to people. I wanted people to know what I was talking about. And what's the best place to network than a community where there's a bunch of us? So people that look at InvestFest as, oh, well, they just teach you basic knowledge. No, it's up to you to find out. There's so many panels there. It's up to you to figure out which panel fits you and what you need to hear. And that's what I learned. That's what I did. I was able to talk to people I think I would never be able to talk to, or people that I thought were above me, I should say. I met a lot of cool vendors. I met a sunglass guy. Shout out to Next Gen EMF. He really helped me and my cousin out. I went down there with my cousin, helped us out. We found a array of different shades that a lot of people weren't able to find, and he was the GOAT for that. So shout out to him. Shout out to my cousin, Fully Invested Kennels. If you guys are looking for a Frenchie or know anybody looking for a Frenchie, look him up on Instagram. It's Fully Invested Kennels. It was a dope event. While I was down there, I actually interviewed a person, asking them, how how InvestFest would help them or what brought them to InvestFest. And that was a really dope interview. My cousin, he didn't know it. But he actually turned into an underrated media InvestFest consultant. So I had him out there doing my interviews and I was recording and all that stuff. He was really, 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 really nervous and his anxiety kicked up and he didn't know I was going to turn on the camera. So I kind of put him on the spot, but he did really, really well. We were able to interview the third member of EYL, Michael McDonald. And he also interviewed a guy who did a Nipsey Hussle mannequin. And he did a really, really good job with these interviews. And I'm actually, before we go any further, I'm going to play those interviews for you guys and let you guys, hear what they had to say. The Michael McDonald interview, it really wasn't about investing or anything. Like, it was just some conversation. He was talking about his kennel. Michael McDonald was talking about him having dogs, and they kind of just caught like a really, really good conversation. And I was able to turn on my camera and catch it all. And it was really dope. It was really dope. So before I go any further, I'm going to play those 3 interviews, his 2 interviews and my interview, and let you guys see those. And then after that, we'll get back into Underrated Conversations episode 5 and go from there.
That's my little personality on stage. Yeah. I'm wild.
That's what's up.
It was dope. Yeah, nice to have King Reese.
King Reese, I'm pretty dog.
Oh, that's crazy. That's dope.
That's my stud right there.
Where at?
From Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. Yep, I've been living for like 3 years.
Well, how's it going?
It's going all right. I've got a few dogs. My dog's been proud and all over the place.
Oh, wow. What's up, bullies?
Yeah, French Bulldog. Okay. My dude's pretty good. You can train my dog?
Listen, I had a dog. He passed away. I got another dog. And I just felt bad for the dog. So I was like, you gotta come home. She gotta come home. And then I was starting to realize every dog, like if I get this dog, it's going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Part of the family.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You with the dog, boy, you with the damn people.
Yeah.
So I'm done with that. Your kids, they're the best thing in the world. My best friends.
Yeah. Keep them company. No one feel bad all.
Yeah, it's good.
You got somebody talking to you, ain't gonna get support.
They love you unconditionally.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can smack them in the face, they're gonna still go.
Still come back.
Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Take care, brother.
Yep,
Nice
appreciate
meeting
you. That nice meeting you too.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta talk to you in the marketplace.
Okay.
What do you do? I breed dogs. This is my kennel right here. I see it.
Yeah, Reese.
That's my thing. That's
I'm Cleveland.
For real? Yeah, that's what's up.
What's your name?
King Maurice Amazon.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm sure you following me around.
I've been following you before. I'd always followed you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
You
it.
made anything new?
Nothing yet because I'm so busy over there trying to relocate.
Before I forget to ask you, I'm sorry to you. What happened with the Nipsey Hussle mannequin?
Nothing. It's still, so the goal is to open up a museum.
So I'm still working towards that. That's probably about it. But nothing since then, since last year. Yeah.
I thought, like the family, reached out.
No, not yet.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. But hopefully, like I said, the conversation will continue because a lot of people still are requesting to see it in person. So,
All right, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
keep thinking about our man.
That is Maurice Anderson, UnderRayted Conversations interview consultant for InvestFest. Please tell them your socials.
Fully invested kennels
Okay.
on Instagram.
Okay.
King Reese 83 on Instagram.
Okay.
Maurice Anderson on Facebook.
All right. There you have it. Maurice Anderson, underrated media consultant for InvestFest.
My name is Maurice.
My name is Marion.
Marion. So you said you're from Youngstown, Ohio? I mean,
No.
Akron, Ohio, correct?
Yeah, but I'm currently in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. Okay. First InvestFest.
Yes, it is.
It's like, what was your reasoning behind coming to InvestFest? Why did you want to tap in this year for your first time?
Because it's out here in Ohio, and it's Fortune 500 companies all through our state. So in order for us to get this financial freedom, we have to break these barriers and come and invest in ourselves. If you can invest in you, then somebody else will be willing to invest just as much. And in Ohio, we need to be more in tune with that. We thinking we got to be from Atlanta or Vegas. No, it's right here. It's right there in our state, in our city.
In your phone.
And we all here to get it together.
Okay.
Who would have known if we wouldn't have came? You see what I'm saying? So it's just breaking those barriers. We coming from hoods and, slums and gutters, and we opening up to something more. And that's what it's about. So that's why I'm here.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
All right, that was our interviews from InvestFest. Shout out to my cousin Maurice Anderson. In his last interview, he threw out his socials and his name and what he owned. Like, share, follow him. If you're looking for Frenchies, that's your dude to go to. He's got the hardest male stud in the Midwest payback. So if you're looking to breed or anything like that, that's the man to go to. But but we had a really, really, really good time. We learned a lot. We were able to experience other people's businesses and their pitches, and it really is like a good thing for Black people and Black entrepreneurs and Black people that want to learn to invest. Because if you're at the beginning stages of investing, whether it be crypto, stocks, you want to learn something about AI, trademarks, patents, anything you can think of to make money, elevate your business, or anything like that, InvestFest is a really good thing to go to every year. Even after InvestFest, we went to a like a EYL mixer, and you never know who you're gonna run into. Never know who you're gonna run into. Like, so we were standing outside, and just me and him outside talking, having a drink or two, and randomly this lady walks up. And she's like, what's going on over here? And we tell her, it's EYL mixer and all that stuff. So she had small talk. Come to find out, like, she was head of HR of like everything down there. Like, we was right across from iHeartMedia headquarters. There was some high-end condos. Where we were at was like an assembly hall for food. I can't remember the name of it. But come to find out, she's the HR of all that. So she says, what are you guys doing tomorrow? This is Friday night. She said, what are you guys doing tomorrow? And we say, we don't got no plans. We're going to InvestFest, of course. But after that, we don't have anything to do. And she says, well, YFN Lucci's homecoming concert is Saturday night. You guys want to go? We look at each other and like, yeah, we want to go. So we ended up talking to the lady, and my cousin ended up, exchanging information and all that stuff. And so our other homeboy was supposed to come down to kick with us Saturday. So we were sitting in one of the presentations, and she texts and says, "Hey, I got y'all tickets." So mind you, we're in Atlanta. So being that we're in Atlanta, we're like, before we change up anything or do anything, let's make sure our tickets is real. Lo and behold, they were real. Like, she sent us VIP skybox tickets for the concert. So we end up going to the concert. Great experience. I think her name is Special. Yeah, so shout out Special. Appreciate that. And we had a good time. But InvestFest, great knowledge. Magic Johnson was there. Magic Johnson dropped so many gems. If you're a business owner, you can probably find his speech and his spiel on Instagram, or at least clips of it, or probably on YouTube. If you're a business owner and you trying to think of ways to scale your business, man, you should probably check out his speech there. Ian, Master Investor, always great. Always great. Jack Dorsey, great. Yeah, it just was a lot of people of color, people of high wealth. And to me, it was just like a lot of inspiration. So if you didn't take anything from the panels, you should at least get inspired from what they were saying. Because it's not every day that us as Black people get the chance to see so many people of success and wealth and of color. Let me repeat that. And of color doing big things, and you can actually see and experience. And it kind of seemed like there was a lot of people there, but it kind of seemed like it was like personal. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff they were saying, it was like they were saying stuff that like you can relate to. It wasn't like it was scripted. It wasn't like there was like them telling them things they can't talk about and can talk about. Like, it was beautiful. So shout out to Troy, Rashad, and Mike. InvestFest 2025 was a success. Bought some of the best lemonade I've ever tasted in my life. Peach lemonade. Delicious. It was an amazing experience. So if you get a chance, I encourage anybody, business owners, want to learn how to invest, want to learn about crypto, want to learn about AI, anything trademarking. If you're into sports, they had a panel about NILs and all that stuff. They had a panel about podcasting. Everything you can think of is there for us in one central location for 4 days every August. So I would recommend anybody who wants to try to elevate themselves, even if you're in the process of doing it, I would recommend going to InvestFest every year, or at least once. I'm not going to say every year. I go every year, but at least once. So shout out to them. And that was an amazing experience. Let's get down to it. So let's, hold on. Almost deleted my topic list, but we're going to get it together. Okay. Let me get into something that came to me last night. Sorry. A lot of people in my life have been like falling out of my life. Let me explain. I'm starting to notice that there's people that was in my life or currently in my life who don't need to be there. So people have been falling out of my circle. It's been like close friends, some family, everything. They've been falling out of my circle. And that's because I feel like God is preparing me for something bigger. And by him preparing me for something bigger, he's taking the people that don't need to be there when I elevate out. And a lot of people are experiencing the same thing, but they don't see it. See, you're trying to keep these friendships, keep these relationships that God is telling you you don't need to have. He's giving you signs over and over and over and over again. But see, we're not listening because we're valuing that relationship and that friendship over what God is telling you. I'm going to say that one more time so you guys can understand. God is showing you that there are people in your life that should not be there. They're not there to help you elevate, but us being blind as humans isn't seeing that. We want to keep those relationships there, even though God's showing you over and over and over and over again, this person is not supposed to be there. But us as humans is trying to make it work or make it fit. We need to start listening what God is showing us. So the other day, God told me that the very next person that falls out of my circle is going to hurt. So whoever it is, obviously going to be really close to me or a really tight family member or something. But God told me that the very next person that he takes out of my life and out of my circle in order for me to elevate is going to hurt me. I just have to be strong enough to deal with that hurt and trust that God is telling me the right thing. Now, me as a human, I could negate what God showed me and told me and just try to keep that person in my life. Mind you, I don't even know who that person is yet, but I know that God told me it's going to happen. So by him telling me it's going to happen, I am mentally, physically, and emotionally preparing myself for it to happen, because I know when it happens, that's when it's time for me to elevate. Because the people that God has took out of my life so far has not really been the closest to me, but they've been close. But he said, this next person is going to hurt. You have to trust me when I tell you this. And I'm 100%, 1,000% prepared for that to happen. And I'm going to trust God and what he's telling me to bring me there. But I can't get ahead and move on and elevate in my life without trusting God. So I cannot try to, how do I say this? I cannot ignore what he told me just to keep that friendship or that relationship. Because if I do that, that means that God's going to may stop my blessing from happening because I didn't follow and obey what he told me. And a lot of people do that. See, what happens is we pray and talk to God about things. And then if we don't like the result or the vision that God gives us, we kind of ignore it. And then we'll say, oh, well, why don't he answer my blessings? I pray all the time. What's going on? Like, God doesn't listen to me. He gave it, put it right smack dab in your face. You didn't listen because you rather have kept that relationship. You rather have kept that person in your life. You rather have kept those people in your life. You didn't want to let go of your family member, even though God was telling you to let go of that family member, but you won't do it because it's a personal connection. To me, my spiritual connection is more powerful than any personal connection, because if I break that spiritual connection to keep a personal connection, I'm going to block my blessing, and I'm not trying to do that no more. So a lot of times, us as humans, we block our blessings and then want to blame God for not blessing us. I'm going to let that breathe for a minute. We block our blessings, and then we want to blame God for not blessing us. You know how many times I hear from men and women they can't find a good spouse? But in the same breath, they'll say, oh, such and such was lame, or I don't want to be with such and such, or, you know, such approached me and they don't really like kicking it and stuff like that. No, you're blocking your blessing. God might have already showed you who he wants you to be with, but you chose not to be with that person because they didn't fit your lifestyle. Little did you know, God might have put that person in your life to change your lifestyle so you can get the abundance and where you're supposed to be at in life. And us as humans, we got to stop that. We got to let go of the personal and the human aspect of things and start opening up our spiritual minds to see what God wants us to do, and stop negating God if you don't like what he's telling you to do. Sometimes some of the stuff God tells you to do hurts. You don't even see it. You don't even see it happening. But some of the stuff God tells you to do, it hurts. But you got to deal with that pain to get to your blessing, man. And it's not going to be easy. Nothing that I've ever asked God for has came to me easy. I learned that in my adult life. Nothing that I've ever asked God for has came to me easy. It always took work, or I had to look through the BS and the crap to find it. And it's there. But God didn't want me to God's never going to put anything smack dab, bam. He may, let me take that back. He may, but in most circumstances, you have to actually be in tune with him to experience it and feel it and see it. You feel me? So I'm fully prepared for God to take whatever he needs to out of my life so he can get me to the point where I'm supposed to be, where I'm elevating in life. I don't want to bring nobody with me that's not supposed to be there, because a lot of times we do that. We bring people up with us not supposed to be there. You know how many people that get rich or get wealthy or start a business or do something, and then they bring their family members in it who is not experienced in the task that you put them in, and they completely ruin it, or you end up falling out because of it. And if that's the case, that means that they probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. You disobeyed what God was telling you to do, and you brought that person anyway, and then your business falls or whatever you're doing fails. You want to blame that person. No, it's on you, because God may have showed you months ago that person is not supposed to be there with you. Yeah, it's the truth. I always say this. I'm not I don't know the Bible front and back, but I'm in tune with God. Everything that I talk about, sometimes you'll catch that I'll be talking and it just flows through me. It's God talking through me. And I love every minute and I can feel it. So until you're ready to lose things that you think, not that our Father thinks, that you think is beneficial to you and your elevation, until you fully prepared yourself to lose that, don't ask God to elevate you, or don't ask God to bring you things in your life and let till you're fully prepared to lose something, because something in your life may not supposed to be there and is stopping your elevation. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I say that because I want you to guys to, I want everybody around me that is supposed to be in my life to elevate. But I can't take everybody with me. God's going to tell me who is supposed to come with me and who's not. So if a situation happens where I disconnect with you, or you feel like I'm being distant or something like that, it's not me. It's not me. It's God telling me that I need to do that to get to my elevation. Facts, man. while we're on religion, I'll just segue into my next topic. You ever met a person who you feel like are forcing their religious views on you and are like super judgmental about anything you do because they feel like it's not what they feel is what you're supposed to be doing under God? Oh boy. Yeah. It's usually a lot of church folk who are extra judgmental about people they feel aren't in tune with our Heavenly Father. Needed some water for that one, boy. See, I've ran into people who have been like, I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I feel like have been like trying to force, religion and God on me, not knowing that He's inside of me. The thing is, when it comes to people like that, you can't tell a person how God talks to them. You can't tell a person where God's leading them because God is talking to them. God doesn't give two people two different messages about one thing. God is not going to tell my wife something different about me and tell me something different. If that makes sense. God's not going to tell me one thing and tell my wife another thing and it'd be two totally different things. But see, a lot of people put their personal views into what they feel is the right thing to do under God. A lot of people put their personal views into what they feel you should be doing under God, even though God may have told you something completely different. This ain't going to be no 100% all just religious pushing episode, but we need to get some clarity. See, part of the reason that I started to disconnect myself from the brick and mortar church is because of that. Because I would see people at church doing one thing and saying one thing and preaching to me one thing and telling me one thing, and then in the streets they're doing something totally different, but you have the audacity to judge what I'm doing. Yeah, it's facts. Me, I'm not a judgmental person. I don't know how God talks to everybody. I know how God talks to me. I can't tell you how God talks to you and how God tells you to get to your blessing or what you're supposed to do next. I can't do that. I can't. But I can tell you what God told me. And that might not be the same thing He told you. So I can't pass judgment on anything that you're saying God told you. But I can tell you one thing for fact. If God told you something about me and it does not align with what God told me about me, one of us is lying, and God ain't going to lie to me about me. And that's facts. And that goes for everybody. If God is telling you one thing and somebody else telling you another thing that God told them about you, it's probably not right. But you have to be cautious because Satan will weasel his way in there and portray himself as something that God is telling you. But I learned that I can feel when God is talking to me and telling me something. Whenever it comes from Satan, it just feels like it's off. And I can kind of put the pieces together, or I'll pray to God about it and He'll tell me, nah, that wasn't me, man. That wasn't me. hear like a lot of background noise in here, but that's because I'm actually recording like in like midday, and I got a family, and but I'm gonna try to keep a lot of it out. But yeah, you got to be cautious of your circle, man. You have got to be cautious of your circle, because not everybody in your circle is for good. And we tend to take love for a person and take that as golden, and negate all the fuck shit they doing around us that does not fit or align with what our goal is or what God is leading us to. And that's facts, man. So I learned recently that a lot of times in my relationship, I would downplay my spouse's role in my relationship. Almost spilled my water. My spouse's role in my relationship. And I think that a lot of people do that. You might not even do it intentionally, but it's done. See, when you're in a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, everybody has a role. And when things get hard and stressful in your relationship, you tend to downplay or think about how your spouse can help you out of that situation. Then you say, hey, you're not doing enough. That's downplaying your spouse in a relationship. And I used to do that a lot. But then I realized that a lot of the things that happen in my relationship, that are done in my relationship, that my spouse does, my wife does, it makes my life easier. It may not be a monetary gain. It may not be a physical gain, and I mean like sex. But a lot of stuff she does make my life a lot easier. Give an example. I don't wash clothes, but my clothes stay clean. I don't make the bed, but my bed stays made. I don't do too much cleaning, but my house stays clean. I don't do too much grocery shopping if I don't have to, but it gets done. But see, that's not financial. But it makes my life a lot easier, and it makes it easier on me because I can just go to work, do what I need to do, pay everything I need to pay, and come home and everything is taken care of. If I'm having a bad day, I can literally come home, go straight to sleep, and get in my bed with no questions asked. She's going to handle the kids, the food, the house, make sure everything's done, make sure my stuff for work is together the next morning, and it's cool. But see, for a while, when things got rough for me and my finances wasn't where I wanted to be, and I felt like things were tough, I would come at her like, yo, you need to do more. You need to do more. Not realizing that she's doing a lot that helping me as well. But see, what I realized is I said I wasn't going to turn this into a religious podcast. Episode 5 wasn't going to be religious, but I mean, I only can talk about what God's done for me. But what I realized was all that bitching and complaining about what she's not doing and how she can't help me monetarily when I needed her to help me monetarily, it happened. And that was from me downplaying what she's doing in the background for herself. Speaking of her, I'm going to shout her out right now. If you are looking for somebody to design a space, interior design, you don't know what to do with your living room, you don't know what to do with your your bedroom, your hallway. Shout out to my wife, Simply Nee on Instagram, Tanisha Anderson on Facebook. Reach out and she can get you together. She can even get you together without even physically coming to your house. So if you have a space that you want decorated, even if you're not physically in our area, you can reach out to her. She can come to your place one time. It'll take one flight and she can decorate your whole place virtually for you. Not too many people know how to do that. It's a rare thing. So all you have to do is let her come, get a scan of your house. She will physically do all the work. All you have to do is go buy the stuff and put it where she says to put it. It's crazy. I didn't know anything about that and I'm new to it. But if you need that, reach out to her. If you can't get her information, just reach out to me. You can comment on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I will connect you with her. So with that being said, I downplayed what she was doing. Like, oh, you just sitting at home. No, she at home working. She at home putting it in. I'm physically leaving the house to work, but she's at home working and taking care of the kids. So when I need her, she comes through. So at that point, I had to learn to stop downplaying my spouse. And people do that a lot. Even women do it to men, because women will say that the man of the house who's going out to work every day may be busting his ass, but if they don't seem like or don't see what he's doing every day, they think he's at work chilling while they're at home dealing with the kids, and they feel like their life is just so much more stressful. You cannot continue to downplay your spouse. Everybody in a relationship has a role. Once you know your role and you establish your role and you play your role, your relationship will be so much smoother. Take the personal out of it and build as a team, and your relationship will grow so much better. I guarantee it. I'm living proof. Trust me. That does not mean I have to be the perfect husband. That does not mean she has to be the perfect wife. But we know our roles. I know if I need her, I can reach out and she got my back. She know if she need me, she can reach out. I got her back. Point blank, period. These are all gems, man. It's only coming from experience. Like I said from the beginning, I'm talking about what's going on with me, and hopefully it reaches one person who can relate to what I'm saying, and they can understand they're not the only ones going through this. So that's why a lot of my topics and a lot of stuff I talk about is about me. While we're talking about relationships, there are a lot of people in this world who do not want to see your relationship succeed. There are toxic people around. That toxic person could very well be like a close family member. See, I don't have to deal with that because my family and my wife's family both, they respect our relationship. But you have situations where people don't respect your relationship and they bring toxicity to your relationship that brings a turmoil within it. And what we'll do is we might not recognize it or don't want to eliminate that person. Back to what I said at the beginning of this podcast. Don't want to eliminate that person in our life or in our relationship, and it affects our relationship. And you're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And you won't understand why until you get that person out of there. And usually it's one-sided. Usually it's the male or the female in the relationship that saying, hey, this person is doing nothing but trying to be toxic and ruin our relationship. And then the other person will say, well, no, that's my cousin, or no, that's my friend, or no, that's my sister, and won't let it go. And then at the end of the day, that person over there is ruining your relationship. And you're allowing it because you don't want to disconnect. See, like I said before, I learned my relationship got so much stronger when we isolated ourselves from all the bullshit. And people are scared to do that. You're scared you're going to lose your family. No. If your family really love you and care about you, they will respect it and see what you're doing. But that'll show you who's really down for you and who's really not. There's a lot of fake love in this world. There's a lot of what you can do for me. I'll keep you around for what you can do for me in this world. There's not a lot of genuine care. There's a lot of jealousy. I seen that firsthand too. Once I got into a committed relationship, like I said before, my relationship is not perfect. We've dealt with breakups, infidelity, fights, anything you can think of. We've been through it. We've dealt with it all. But see, we battle it. We get through it internally. But we've come to a point where we can realize when somebody's out to destroy our relationship. And if one of us don't see that the other person's out to, that there's somebody on their side trying to destroy our relationship, we are at a point where we can talk about it and we can eliminate that person if necessary. Or if the other person is seeing it and it's not really what they think it is. And that came with time and a lot of fights, a lot of arguing, even some breakups and back together to realize what was going on. That's how I figured out that this is my person. She's dealt with a lot of shit that I put her through. I've dealt with a lot of shit that she put me through, but we were able to get over those humps and become better with each other, and it made our relationship so much stronger. Granted, sometimes I get pissed and I don't want to deal with some of the shit she talking about. Sometimes she get pissed, don't want to deal with some of the shit I'm talking about, but we learned to keep that in-house. See, when you start sharing your problems with everybody, some people use that as fuel. They hear your problems like, oh yeah, they going through it, and they want to see that. They don't want to see you succeed. Even if they're in a relationship, they might not like where their relationship at and see where yours is at, so they're gonna hate. You got to be able to see it though. And a lot of people are blinded by it. They can't see it. Once again, like I said, that's my son going up and down the steps, but it's cool. If you're tuned in with me and you listening, the gems are more important than what's going on behind the scenes and you can hear. Disregard that. Listen to what I'm telling you. Now this is one of those. I always have a topic that is like, I guess controversial is the word, or it can ruffle some feathers, or but this is one of those. There's a communication divide when it comes to women understanding the struggles of a man who is genuinely trying to help them. Once again, there is a divide between women not understanding the struggles of a man who is genuinely trying to help them. Let me explain. Men, most men, oh, I can't say most men. Let me change that. For me, as a man, the communication, or when a woman asks you to help them, it may not be how they think it should happen, per se. So us as men, we will be genuinely trying to help a woman, your spouse, mother, brother, sorry, daughter, sister, whatever. But they may take it as you're trying to hurt them. I'll give an example. Let's say we'll say your female cousin. We'll just keep it a little distant. Your female cousin asks you for $1,000. And you tell them, no, but I'll give you $1,000 if you can break down to me what you're going to use it for and why you need it. They might take that as, oh, no, you don't want to give it to me. No, I'm trying to help you, but I'm not just going to give you my money. So I'm trying to help you, but you take that as me trying to overanalyze. No, it's mine. I'm not overanalyzing a damn thing. I would like to know how you're going to use it so I know you're about to go fuck off my money. Or it can be as simple as conversation, because we'll try to talk to you and tell you what we think is best, but you don't understand that because it's not the delivery or what you want to hear. And that's just not a woman thing. That's a human thing. Whenever we don't want to hear something or we don't agree with something, we kind of just tune it out. And it might be what you need to hear, but you just don't want to hear it. I tell people all the time, when I give people advice or I talk to people, the first thing I say is, hey, do you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Or do you want me to tell you what you should hear or what you want to hear? You know? And this is crazy because usually when it's a man, he wants to hear what he needs to hear. But when it's a woman, they say they want to hear what they need to hear, but when it comes out, they don't really be too receptive of it. It could be my delivery, but sometimes you need to hear it like tough and raw. You don't need nobody to sugarcoat it. So there's a divide there when it comes to that because they're taking it as, nah, you trying to be an asshole, blah, blah. No, I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So everybody been telling you what you need, what you want to hear. And that's why you're in the predicament you're in now. You need to hear what you need to hear. The raw, uncut truth sometimes. And you hear the raw, uncut truth. If you take that and receive it and take that and run with it, sometimes it might help you. Some people do feed you bullshit, but if you're talking to somebody you can genuinely trust, they're probably telling you what you need to hear. You got to be able to accept it. And not everybody's delivery is how you want to hear it. Not everybody's delivery is how you want it. I'm telling you that, buddy. Which brings me to my next topic. You ever gave somebody some advice and they kind of blew it off, but then somebody gives them the same advice and they do it, and then they sing their praises about how that person told them to do XYZ, and you're sitting there like, I told you the same thing, but you didn't listen when I told you. Told somebody else to say you listen to it. Yeah, that's frustrating. See, and what I learned is when you tell a person that and they don't listen, like you could tell a person, hey, I told you that and you didn't listen to me, but it came from XYZ and you listen, and they blow it off. At that point, I'm done giving you advice. Don't ask me for a motherfucking thing at that point. Because see, you didn't listen to what I told you. You didn't want to hear what I told you. You didn't want to hear how I delivered it or anything. You didn't want to hear any of it. But the next person came who you might genuinely care more about than me. And it shows when you do shit like that. And you listen to the exact same thing I told you. That's fucked up. And that tells you how you fit in that person's life. That tells you that they asked you for your advice just to hear you talk. They didn't give a fuck about what you had to say, because I don't care what you said. I need to hear it from this person. So if that's the case, don't ask me for anything involving advice for you. Don't waste my time. I said it last time. I don't like my time wasted. Don't waste my time. So when you do that, I'm done. Don't ask me for anything. And I'm learning as I get older in life, in my 38 years in life, I'm starting to learn that, see, people will put themselves in the position they need to be in your life on their own. You ain't got to do nothing. They'll do it on their own. And that's an exact example of how they can do it. You just got to be cautious. That's why I say you got to start to look at your circle and evaluate your circle and look who's in it. Because as we get older, and we were younger in our early 20s, late teens, I'm sure I'm not the only person that had a bunch of friends. And then as I got older, those friends start to slowly fall out the circle. But my genuine friends are there. I have a friend I've had, my childhood friend, for the longest. We don't talk all the time, but you can best believe those are my road dogs. They'll call me on a whim just to check in. I'll call them on a whim just to check in. No love lost. We still love each other. Our friendship is still valid. Those are my best friends. But our lives are taking different paths. So being that our lives are taking different paths, I don't want to hinder their path. They don't want to hinder my path. So we just go on our separate paths, but we know that our friendship is still close. So we don't have to talk every day. We don't have to text every day. We know that if I need them, they're there. If they need me, I'm there. But that came with a bond and a trust. Never gave me bad advice. Never gave them bad advice. We know where we're at in each other's lives, and we still remain there. And our friendship has lasted for, at this point, 25 plus years. Through states and moves and career changes, job changes, not talking for years, re-talking, loss of family members. We've actually bonded over the loss of our fathers. Craziest thing, we hadn't talked for years. He lost his father 3 months before I'll take that back. He lost his father a month before I lost my father. And at that point, that's when me and him, our relationship mended. Not mended is not the word, but we became closer again because we were able to talk about that and help each other out of that situation. He was able to give me advice on how to get past it. I was able to give him advice on how to get past it. We didn't forget about our loved ones, but we were able to talk to each other and figure out how we can navigate to keep our life moving and not hinder us and stop us from our advancement. And to this day, there's nothing that can break that bond between me and those people. Nothing. I mean, there's stuff, but the trust and the bond is there that I know they wouldn't do anything to break that bond, because at the end of the day, we learned in our adult ages, even though we were together, we were friends for the longest, as we grew, we learned in our adult ages, we figured out what we need from each other and how we can keep our friendship going and what it takes from each of us to keep it going without crossing those boundaries. I have a friend who's, all right, let me give some context. I have a friend who was dating this girl and they ended up having a baby. And the girl ended up moving overseas, like halfway across the world with the child. This is going to tell you about the character of people I keep around me. Him and the girl were like beefing, having a spat, and she's halfway across the world. And they were beefing for a long time, having a spat, you know, making things difficult to be in his daughter's life and things like that. And he could have literally cut off communication. This girl would have never found him again. She's halfway across the world. She can't come back to America or not coming back. And he could have just, you want to be on some bullshit? I'm cool. But just to show you the type of character of people I keep around me, he didn't do that. He is literally an active father in this little girl's life, and she lives like 20 hours away. I look at that and I say, like, man, like, what's people's excuse? Now, there is reasons why you would not be as active in your child's life. But for the most part, there's really no excuse. And I'm going to say this as a man. This is the realest thing I'm going to say right now. There's a lot of men out here who want to be active in their child's life, but the mother paints this picture of the father like he ain't shit when he's really trying. And us as men, we got to deal with that shit. We got to try to navigate through the bullshit and all the lies and all the bullshit that she spewed about you to your child. And that makes it way harder, because now you got to change the way your child is thinking about you, because for years they've spewed this BS about the person you really are. So it makes it hard for us to be active fathers. And we need to change that narrative. Or what will happen is that child will become too much to handle, and then they want to pawn them off on the other parent. That's bullshit. Because now we have to try to reverse or change the atmosphere or the person that you let slide and create. And now we got to try to teach them discipline and how to do this and how to do that. But at that point, they're too far gone. We need to change that narrative. If the father or the mother, whoever has custody, wants to be in that child's life, you need to allow it. No matter what your personal feelings is of that person, you need to allow it. Because it's not about you, it's about the child. Me, I came up in the two-parent household. So I don't really know what it takes to raise a child in a single-parent household. Even my kids that in my household now, two-parent household. So if there's, I don't know what it's like, so I can't speak on that for people that was raised with one parent. But I do know that if you're raised with one parent and the other parent is actively trying to be in your child's life, actively trying to do right, you need to allow for that. You're not hurting the other parent, you're hurting the kid. What will happen is you'll create this monster that nobody can tame. Then they'll be turned into an adult monster. And at that point, there's nothing you can do. You cannot save your child once they become an adult and they start to do things that can get them in trouble. At that point, it's on them. It starts from when you're raising them from a small child. And sometimes the parent that you're trying to keep away from or badmouth is telling you they might see something you don't see, but that's for a conversation that you guys need to have as an adult. See, adult conversations make parenting way easier. If you can't have those adult conversations about your children, parenting will be really hard, or you will be stuck in a situation where you've created this child that the other parent is not going to want to try to mold or fix. You can't pawn off your mistakes on other people. And like I said, I was raised in a two-parent household. So I don't know the difference in the mental change when you were raised in a one-parent household and trying to raise a child in a one-parent household. I can't speak on that. And I'm not going to speak on that. I only can speak on what I know. It's deep in here. It is deep in here today. So I went to the gym today. And I've been kind of consistent with it as of recently, going to the gym 3 days a week. And I'm trying to eat better and all that stuff because I really want to be here for my kids. I have a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, 13, 12, 6, and 5. By the time my 6 and 5-year-old graduate, I'll be in my 50s. Late 40s, early 50s. Around there. Didn't do the math, but you know. So I'm trying to do better with my health to make sure that I'm there for my kids. So today I was kind of like in a mood, down, or whatever the case may be, and I wasn't really feeling the whole gym thing. But I went anyway. And I was in there doing my workout. Kind of the whole time sitting there like, oh, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to do this. And then this older lady walked in on a walker. I swear on everything, I'm not lying. She came in on a walker and started working out, like lifting weights, working on the ab machines, all that stuff. And I'm like, oh no. Like, at this point, there's no excuse for me not to get myself together. Because if this lady can get up and bring herself to the gym in a walker to make herself work out, what's my excuse? I don't have the best, I'm not the healthiest person. You know, I have my health issues as well, but I can walk, you know, I can run a little bit, not too much. We still haven't got to why, but not too much. Like, that for me was like the ultimate motivation to keep me going, to make sure that I could, when I was feeling like I didn't want to be there, I feel like that was God. God telling me, yo, if you, able-bodied 38-year-old Ray, can't bring yourself to be in the gym and motivate yourself to be a better you, let me show you somebody who is doing it. Once I seen that lady, I went hard, boy. I usually go to the gym for about an hour. I was in there for an hour and a half, almost hour 45, maybe even 2 hours. I was in there getting it. And I needed that. I always say God talks to me in ways that I didn't think that it was him, but he talks to me in ways that I can understand. And God talks to people in ways that they'll understand. It's up to you to find out whatever it is or however he talks to you and execute. But this was the first time I went to the gym like early in the day, and I seen that, and I have no excuse on why I can't get myself together. I have no excuse on why I can't work on a better me so I can be there for my kids. Because I'm not going to the gym for me. I'm going to the gym for my kids. My kids deserve me in their life. My kids deserve for me to be healthy. My kids deserve to not see me laid up in the hospital or all that stuff. If it's something that I can do to avoid that. It's decision making as an adult. And us as adults, sometimes we have piss poor decision making. We'd go to the bar and get fucked up and drink for hours on end, but we can't go for a quick little walk. We'd go out here and have sessions with our friends getting high as fuck and all that shit, but we can't tell our friends, hey, meet me at the gym. Hey, we old now, but if we get enough of us, we can run a game at the court and we all in the same position. So if we do that on a weekend, we start to get better. We don't do that type of shit. It's always a party, kick it type shit. We got to stop that shit, especially when we got kids. We got to do better, man. I'm sorry I'm not feeling the best. Nose a little runny and, but I needed to deliver this message. I'm looking at my topic list and it appears that I ran through a good portion of it and we're at about an hour or so. I don't want to harp and keep you longer to where it starts to take the attention away from what I'm saying. So we're going to go ahead and end episode 5. Once again, shout out to the people who made it this far. If you made it this far, I appreciate it, because I know there's probably people that just start listening and stop. But like I always say, I do this for me. And if it can reach one person, no monetary gain, not for a bunch of likes, subscriptions, all that, because with God, if that's what's supposed to happen with me, it will happen. I had people listening telling me like, yo, I don't know that person that's on that podcast. Yeah, because this is the real me. And these are conversations that I have, that I save to give to people that can help them. This is not just daily conversations I have. This is not just specific things that I just talk about. No, this platform, I save a lot of stuff for this platform so I can reach out and talk to multiple people. I don't want to spread just little pieces. I want to be able to reach the masses. Yes, if you come talk to me and you need that type of conversation, I can give it to you. But I want to reach the masses. A lot of people that think they know me don't really know what's going on in my mind. And that's what this is for. So I appreciate everybody. Shout out to the first listeners, last listeners. Shout out to the family, the friends, the fans, the haters, everybody that tunes in. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Sorry. I'll be releasing more stuff. As you can see, I'm trying to be more consistent, but I cannot force these episodes. I can't. See, when an episode is forced, it doesn't feel right. But see, I talk in these episodes. It's not me. It's God coming through me. It's somebody talking to me through me to talk to you. And that's why it's authentic. It has to be authentic. Everything I do is authentic. It's 100%, 1000% me. So I want to thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Until episode 6, this has been Underrated Conversations. I'm your host, Ray. I will pray for you guys. You continue to pray for me. Hope you all have a blessed week, month, day, 2 weeks, whatever it is, until we meet again. But I hope that everything works out in your favor, and God continues to bless every single one of you as He continues to bless me. Sometimes things aren't going to go as you want them to be. Sometimes God's answer for you isn't what you think it should be, but you have to be obedient to Him and follow whatever it is He's leading to you. I promise you, He's going to lead you to wherever you're supposed to be in life. You just have to trust Him and trust the process. Trust me, I know. I'm in the process of it right now. I would not be in front of this camera if it wasn't for God. There's so many times that I thought about doing this and never did it. Even starting this stuff, it wasn't even a comfortable start for me. It was difficult. But as I do this more and more and more, God talks to me more and more and more and talks through me through these episodes, and it makes it way easier. So I love y'all. I appreciate all the support. Like, share, follow. Until next time.